Talking about one of my favorite composers. This is Franz Schubert. Schubert wrote absolutely incredible music, and he's still very, very popular today, so there's going to be a lot of listening examples this week. Schubert lived mostly in Austria. In fact, he was born and died in Vienna, so he was born and died in the same place. He was born in 1797 and then died in 1828. That means he was only 31 years old when he died. So he died pretty young. And he wasn't super successful during most of his life. He was well known. He did okay, but he wasn't super famous. But he got really, really popular for about 10 to 20 years right after his death. And then, like I said, he's still very popular today. He was actually sick and depressed for a lot of his life. He did not necessarily lead a happy life. He was just kind of constantly sick and ill and unhappy, except for this one portion of his life that he worked with a family named the Esterházys. They were a noble family, and he was happy when he was working with them, but that was really it. He was really, really influenced by Beethoven and other classical musicians. Beethoven is kind of our split between classical and romantic, so Schubert was technically a romantic composer, but he drew a lot from the classical artists, so you kind of hear that in his song stuff, and I think it's part of what makes Schubert's music so kind of catchy and easy to listen to. When Schubert was a kid, when he was 11 years old, he auditioned to be part of the court chapel choir, which was part of the Imperial and Royal Seminary. So this was essentially like a royal school that he got into to be part of the choir. And he was there until he was about 16. While he was there, he composed some of his first works. Today, that same choir still exists. It's just known as the Vienna Boys Choir. But they are still one of the most well-known choirs in the world. They are also one of the world's oldest music organizations. They were started in 1498, and so that means that they are about 522 years old. And they are still performing, they're still writing music. And they are still a really fabulous children's choir. So I've attached one of the videos that they do. It's a little bit more of a modern piece, which isn't their typical repertoire, but I think that you guys will really enjoy it. So I look forward to talking more this week about Schubert, and I hope you enjoyed today's listening example from Vienna Boys Choir.